Welcome back to Book 5, the channel that helps you live a more holistic life. This is your man Jay, and today we're going to talk about maturity in the black community, specifically dealing with the black man. Okay, and this is not a knock on anybody or anything. This is just an observation to allow us to uh, take a look at things from another perspective and maybe try to implement some things that can improve our individual and our collective conditions. All right. Now, when you look at the community as a whole, compared to other communities, we are very immature, very, very immature. And it's an immaturity that goes beyond like a personality thing. Oh God, hold on. My heater kicked on. Hold up. My fault. My heater kicked on. So yeah, it goes past a personality thing. We are immature in business practices. You ever go into like a black business and the level of professionalism is almost nil to none. Like just crazy in the basement. Like the unprofessional. It frustrates you because of how unprofessional the people that are running the business are, and how they handle everything. We're immature when it comes to community and actually building community and supporting infrastructure. You know, you go into our communities, the infrastructure there is really lacking. Nobody takes the responsibility of seeing those infrastructural things come to fruition and be prosperous. We are immature in travel. We are immature in language. Our level of immaturity is bar none the worst of out of the nationalities, at least here in America. So this immaturity, not only is it like for the group, but specifically for black men, and it's a reason. There are many reasons why that that is. So, but we're not going to touch on all of them. We're just going to touch on a few. One of the major ones is we've been raised in single parent households, mainly single parent households with the mother at the helm. And not for nothing, but when it comes to being mature, it takes a level of logic, and it takes a level of uh, uh, surety and calmness to look at things from a logical perspective and handle those things from a logical perspective. Female nature is one that is controlled by emotions, and emotions are they're very childish. You know, you ever see a child throw a fit because they can't have their way, or they're crying because their feelings hurt, or they're just absolutely just overjoyous over something that is it doesn't warrant the joy, but it makes them feel good, so they are overjoyous about it. That's the same kind of thing with women. The emotions go back and forth and sway back and forth, and when you're a male child growing up under a female, she's imparting her perspective and her world view and how she deals with the world on you, and it's not conducive to your development. Um, and so what you have is you have uh, guys who grow up and they handle things in very immature, emotional ways. You just look at the guys in prison and the violent crimes of prison or these kind of things. All of those things were made off of split second emotional responses. All of those things were emotionally based. Most of all of them were emotionally based, and that stems from the upbringing of being in a single parent household with the female at the lead. Also, you just not allowed to grow up because of the female situation. You're not allowed because again, one of the female natural instincts is to nurture, and of course to protect the young, and to um, you know, just coddle and baby the young. Now, I gotta say, like, not all women are naturally inclined to do that. There are some horrible, horrible mothers in that aspect where they're not emotionally available to their children. But for the most part, that's women nature to nurture. And at a point, a boy has to stop being nurtured to that degree. And he has to be able to bump his head and skin his knee and fall off his bike and do dangerous stuff and take risks and learn discipline without the option of being able to be saved. And that's a lot of times a lot of guys get caught up into the criminal element and get caught up in the system, and when they get hit with those big numbers, they like, wow, I don't get a second chance. And the world like, no, you don't get a second chance. But all the time you've been growing up with your mother, you've been getting second chances. You've been, I'm gonna put you on punishment and take you off of punishment, and whatever the case is, right? She goes soft on you. So it doesn't allow us to fully develop in our maturity because of being coddled and being babied and not allowed to grow up. And you see this, you see 50, 40, 60-year-old men still living with their mother still taking care of the essentials of their life, healthcare, things like that. Um, they got like this son husband kind of thing going on with their mother, and they just straight up mama's boys, to the point where they try to make relationships with women, and the relationships go wrong because the woman, like, I can't take it. He's just so influenced by his mother, so it doesn't work for her, right? So we see that dynamic playing out, or you still see, older teenage young men being yelled at by their mother, and being an uh, emotional sounding board for her, and just all kind of stuff, man. And it just don't allow him to grow up. And when he wants to strike out, he wants to do something. Oh no, don't do that. That's too dangerous. Oh, don't leave me. I need this around. I need that around. Da da da. And so you stay in this perpetual um, submission to your mother. A lot of guys, just a submission to their moms is crazy. We can go into the Bible, and in Titus 2 verse 2, I believe it is. It kind of instructs. It doesn't kind of instruct. It does instruct the older women to teach the younger women, and it instructs the older men to teach and be an example to the younger men. Let the aged men be sober, grave tempered, sound in faith, in charity, in patience. Drop down to 7 or 6. Young men likewise to be sober minded, in all things showing thyself a pattern of good works, in doctrine showing uncorruptness, gravity, sincerity, sound speech that cannot be condemned, that he that is of the contrary part may be ashamed, having no evil thing to say of you. And it's like that because you need a example, a pattern to pattern yourself after an example to pattern yourself after. And when you in a single parent household with the mother, black men, we don't have that example to pattern ourselves after. So we pattern ourselves after the example that we see, and that comes with a lot of feminine traits, attributes, way of thinking, perspectives when you're grown, and it just really hinders your your ability to fully mature, right? So as you grow up, these pro as you grow up and you become fully grown, these programs plague you. They start to plague you because you grow up, now you're a man, and all you know how to do is be submissive under a woman, and you start to live your life to please and take care of women. That's what you live your life to do. You never come to the realization that your purpose on this earth is not to please women. It's not. It's to please the Most High and to fulfill your life's purpose and destiny. Um, And then if you do have a woman, you're supposed to take care of her, but it's not your duty to please her. But growing up in those environments, that's what we get, and we get these fantasy romance type of outlooks on life, and we start to worship women. And then when we get with women, we think we're supposed to serve them. We're down on our knees asking for marriage, and the woman just takes the authority role in your house, you know, the happy life happy wife type of thing. Like, I don't know if that's really in the black community, but you know, that's one of the things that's, you know, one of the sayings that's out there, and it really just translates to do what you have to do to make your wife happy so that your life is happy. And that is ass backwards. Um that is not what it is, or what it's supposed to be. But since we grow up in those type of environments and households, that's all we got. You know, that's the only example we got. We pleased our mother. Everything was for our mother, dear mama. You know, songs with the mom and all of that. And that's what we grow up with, and then that's what we cling on to when we get older. And because of that, we think that men are incapable. Even subconsciously, we believe our own selves to be incapable, uh, because there was no man there. And then because the man wasn't there when the top when the issue was addressed on why the man wasn't there, it was always his fault. His lack of interest and responsibility, his lack or ability to provide and do this or do that, when that may or may not been true in your household or somebody else's household. The fact of the matter is that gets seared into your mind, and then now you as a man, and you start feeling incapable. So what happens? You got these men who go out here and uh, live up under the roof of their girlfriends. Okay, they go out and they try to find these motherly figures that's gonna take care of them, or you know, they don't know how to stand up to a woman. They don't know how to deal with a woman saying, "Well, I'm gonna leave," and without their world feeling like it's gonna fall apart because this woman then up and left, right? Because they all they know is the responsible party, or the party who got me this far, or the party that I owe my survival to, is the feminine party. And the other party, the masculine party, it was always put upon you that they were incapable or unwilling to do what the mother did or could do. And then you start to internalize that, and then you start to behave like that. You grow up and you subconsciously believe that you are not capable, whether you're going to admit it or not. And then that shows up, and you know how it shows up. Black men never taken uh um the initiative to jump into leadership roles, right? They're never the ones to set the term in their relationships, right? Um, they they are risk adverse. They don't like to take risk that's necessary to propel them forward. They like to stay in that safe, coddled place where they know it's predictable, right? And that's just not the way of a man. Now, it says in First Kings chapter 2, uh, um, David is passing away, and Solomon is he wants to talk to Solomon, and he tells Solomon to show yourself a man. Go forth in the earth and show yourself a man. Now the days of David grew nigh that he should die, and charged Solomon his son, saying, I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man, and be courageous, right? And keep the laws of the Most High, and it's going to guide you through, right? But show yourself a man and be courageous. There's the need to dwell in the safety uh, of certainty is not a manly thing. That's very feminine to do. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a secure, you shouldn't secure your life. What I'm saying is men take risk, and because every risk you wanted to take as a boy, your mother persuaded you not to take it out of her own instincts. That was imprinted onto you, and as a grown man, you don't like to take those risks, so you remain immature because of it. Again, going back to the tenets of the Bible, 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 9, the woman was made for the man, not the man for the woman. Okay? She is there to help you and assist you and to push you forward, not the other way around. But again, since you was raised in this particular matriarch system, then now your perspective is a little skewed, and so you move based off that perspective, right? And you could say, well, the Bible is old, it's outdated. That was that for that time. Listen, man, the bottom line is these things have worked for thousands of years, and it's only recently, around 1970s or 60s or something, which was not that long ago, that the tearing of the fabric away from those traditional things started to occur, and ever since then things have been downhill. 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 8, for the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. So the things that have been proven to work, we discard for some new philosophy that is proven that it doesn't work, and yet we still want to cling onto it and discredit the things that did work. And the matriarchy does not work. It doesn't work. Okay, and especially for young men, it does not work. Not in the least slightest bit does it work. And so anyway, we have this thing where we believe we gotta serve women and we don't. Okay, a woman should really get with your program, and if she's not willing to get with your program, you have to be willing to let her go do whatever it is she wants to do. Okay, now I'm not saying that a good woman is not beneficial, because she is, but you do not need her if she is not willing to get on your program. All right. Yeah, so we perpetuate these things in a childlike state. It's like the Bible refers to us, and our group of men as children who playing in the marketplace. When you was a child, you thought as a child, you spake as a child, but it's a time where you have to put those childish things behind you. And hell, man, it'd be black guys, man, 40, 50, 60 years old, still don't tie their shoes. Now, yeah, you might say, well, that's the style or the swag or whatever, but I don't know. When I just look at it, I'm like, come on, man, we ain't even tying our shoes. It's crazy. We ain't tying our shoes. We disrespecting each other on a regular basis. Disrespecting somebody is very childish and immature, and a lot of times feminine. Just looking for the altercation or looking how you can get over. That's children. When children show up to the playground, excuse me, show up to the playground with a new toy, and here comes somebody who don't have the toy or want the toy or whatever it is, and then they infringe, and then they disrespect the other person's right to ownership and all of this other stuff. That's all immature, man. That's all schoolyard stuff. So when you go around other black men and there's automatically an air of disrespect, or is always that thin line where a dude could cross the disrespect, and now you gotta sit there, and y'all both gotta sit there, um, um, out of a positive energy, because you ready to check a nigga because he about to disrespect. So it's all immaturity, bro. It's all immaturity, and we really need to look down deep and look at ourselves and say, look, these are the problems I'm having. This is true about myself. And if you was raised by a single mother or raised in a household with a father that was the submissive one, bro, you have issue. Okay, you have issue. Don't try to talk yourself and think that you don't, because you do. And it's a lot of that stuff that need to be rooted out and reprogrammed, and you're gonna have to do the work to do it. And once we do that, we need to start being examples to the younger dudes, and especially our own sons and daughters, when we have children of our own, and don't get caught up in that perpetual cycle of I'm gonna lead that responsibility. That's why other people police our communities, because we haven't stepped up, and we don't join the police force, we don't join the fire department, we don't Yeah, again, when I was going back to the infrastructures, we don't really take serious the infrastructures in our community because that takes responsibility, leadership, and sacrifice. And black men as a whole are not taught to do those things. And so we grow up and we don't do them. And we leave those heavy responsibilities and lifting up to the women. And the women damn sure can't do it. And so they just rely on the government. And so you get this perpetual cycle of immaturity and childish behavior in our communities and in our individual lives as black men, and we got to fix it. It's an observation. This is not a judgment, but I do, man. Just look at yourself, self-evaluate, say, I'm a little immature in this area or that area. Let's see how I can fix that, and not only fix that. Once I fix it, be the example for the young bucks who are coming up after me to try to change the dynamics of what our manhood should mean. All right, show ourselves as men, courageous as we go forth in the earth and set our terms and set it in order. All right. Thanks for joining us on Book 5, the channel that helps you live a more holistic life. This your man Jay, and I'll catch you next time.